Hi, I'm Tony, and today we're going to make binding. Quilter's bias binding, to be exact. I have an amazing quilt that I made for the St. Jude Creative season on my Twitch channel, but I need a really cool binding, and they don't make a pre-made one that I can use. Yeah, they make pre-made binding for quilters. I normally buy it by the roll, but unfortunately they don't make the color that I really want for this quilt, which is the purple that's in the border. That means I need to make it myself. So let's get to it and make some binding. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you know that all of these numbers and figures and calculations I'm going to be giving you are going to be down below in the comments section. So you don't have to write down any of these figures, you don't have to remember any of them, just follow along and then look down below for all of the actual numbers and calculations. Step one, let's figure out how much binding we need. So I'm going to measure this side, which is 33 inches. This side, so I'm finding the perimeter of my quilt. This is a little bit too long, so I'm going to fold it in half. And this is about 22 inches on this side. So we're going to say 44 inches for this side. Plus, I said 32, yes. Plus the 32 inches, plus the 32. That's for two sides is 76 inches times 2. The perimeter of the entire quilt is 152 inches. So whenever you're talking about binding and you're making your own binding, the width of fabric is between 42 and 45 inches normally, depending upon the fabric manufacturer. So we're going to round down and assume 40 inches. So we're going to take the 152, we're going to divide this by 40 inches. It's 3.8. So that tells me I need to cut 4 strips, because you will always want to round up to the nearest whole number. Again, always round up to the nearest whole number. If it is a 0.91 or higher, add another one. So let's say if this one was a 3.91, I would cut 5 strips just to be on the safe side. Now there's a couple of different strip cutters you can use. This is the Stripology ruler by Creative Grids. You can also use the Martelli strip cutter, which is amazing and I love it. But there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can do. Now in this case I said I needed to cut 4 strips. So let's go ahead and square this off. And you want to cut strips 2.5 inches. So your strips should be 2.5 inches. So at 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. So we have 4 strips now where we want to sew these together. The cheater way, which I don't do, and I'll explain why in a moment, is this. You take the strips, you line them up, you trim them, you sew it, you iron it open, you have your one long strip. I'm going to do it the traditional way just because I find having it on the angle makes it a little bit stronger and it's better for binding. So what you want to do is line up your first piece on the bottom, face up. Your second piece, lay it on top just like this, face down. And on your straight edge, line up your 2 angles. So I'm going to line the angle here to the angle here. So I have a straight line between the 2 edges and draw a line. Now, in this case, you notice how I don't have any of my selvage included in my binding here. So then we're going to pin this because we don't want the selvage included. We want it separated. Let's pin that. There we are, and we have that. Now I'm going to do this for each of the sides until I have all 3 done. So face up, face down, draw a line. Whoops. If it moves, just like I just did, that's not a problem. Just reposition your fabric so the line matches to each corner. And then we'll pin this. Perfect. And last but not least, because we have 4 pieces, 4 strips of fabric, we will have 3 connections. All right, there's that. And let's line this up. That's nice and straight. Let's line this up. Now, the next step, I'm going to sew along these lines. So let's take this to the sewing machine and let's sew it right here along each of these 3 lines. Our next step, like I just said, is to sew along these lines right here. So normally I use the 1/4 inch foot with guide, which allows me to do a perfect 1/4 inch seam every single time. We're not going to use that for this project. Instead, we're going to use our J foot that comes with our machine. The J foot is a great one for this step of the binding because it's clear right here and we can see exactly what is going on. Our first step, remember, our chain piecing. We want to put in that scrap fabric and sew through so we have that clear. Now, it's normally a good idea to match your thread to your binding, but in this case, I'm using off-white just to show you the difference. So we're going to pick up our presser foot. Let's put our binding right up against that needle. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. And we're going to sew along this line. Now we're taking our pins out as we're going along. Now you notice how I'm not exactly sewing on this line. As long as you're pretty much close, you're fine. Oops, I completely went off the line that time, and that is perfectly fine. Now, chain piecing. We're going to lift up our presser foot. Let's put that there, and let's start sewing the next one. Take this pin out. Do not sew over your pins. It is a horrible, horrible habit. Oh, I'm kind of getting off my line again, but that's okay. It's close. There we are. And then the third one, lift up our presser foot, and sew. And let's take this pin out. Yeah, sewing over your pins can set the timing off on your machine. It could damage your machine and cost you money. Now, at the very end, we want to free this again. So let's put our scrap fabric back in there and sew it and free it. And now our binding is sewn. Let's do our next step. We have our lovely chain of fabrics. So of course, the first step is to separate it. Now there's 2 ways in order to cut off the extra fabrics here. If you're a pretty good judge of what is and is not a 1/4 inch, you can take your scissors and cut your 1/4 inch. Now, whenever you do that, you also want to cut off the ends right here. So you want to have it in line with the fabric, just like that. If you're not a pretty good judge of what a 1/4 inch is, or you don't want to use scissors, that's fine. You can use your rotary cutter and straight edge. So we're going to put our fabric down. Let's line it up. Now in this case, you're using a 1/4 inch seam, just like you normally do. So you line your 1/4 inch seam up. Your line should be on your actual thread. Let's cut that, and then same thing I just did. Don't forget to trim off these little wings, lining up with the fabric. Let's do our little wing there. So it is the same thing. So you see it doesn't make a difference if you use scissors or rotary cutter, as long as it's about a 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to use scissors, because honestly, for me, scissors are just faster. I love my rotary cutter, but in this case, it's just faster. So we've got that, and now we're going to iron it. So I will show you the ironing of it. All we're doing first is ironing these seams. You can iron your seam open. You can iron it to one side. If you iron your seam open, make sure, because that's not what I'm going to do. If you iron your seam open, make sure you see here, it may or may not go over that edge. So I have a little bit more of a tail right here that I would need to trim off. So if you iron them open, make sure you trim it again along that edge just to make sure that you have it. I'm going to iron mine to one side just because I'm difficult and I like ironing my things to one side. So this is the last step. Let's iron it. First step of ironing. we want to iron the whole thing out. So I'm just ironing this straight. When I get to my seam that I just sewed, at that point we'll make a decision. Are we ironing it to one side like I am, just like that, or are you flipping it over and ironing it open? I don't feel a need of ironing seams from both sides for binding. I think just doing it from the one side is plenty. Now, your binding may start to get twisted. That's perfectly fine. Just untwist it as you go. All right, so there's my second. Now you notice as I ironed it, I saw a little bit of that thread poking through. That's because I used the off-white thread, so you could see exactly what I was doing. If you match your thread to your fabric, then you won't be able to see it, and it should be fine. Everything is fine. This is fine. All right, let's iron this last little bit. There we are. Now I'm going to take this whole thing and flip it over. Because this is quilter's binding, that means it's a single fold binding. So we're just going to take this, fold it in half, and iron it down. And that's it. You don't have to do anything at the end, depending upon how you add your binding to your quilt. If you use the tuck method, it's going to cut it off. If you use the sew method for sewing your binding on for the endings, the beginning and the end, that's what I mean, the tuck and the sew method for the beginning and the end of your binding. If you use either one of those methods, then that selvage is going to come off anyways. So there's no extra step that you need to do at the beginning and the end of your binding. And as you see, all I'm doing is folding over my binding. Now, if it folds over a little bit too much or a little bit too little, that's fine, as long as it's not more than 1/8 of an inch. If you notice your fabric as you're folding it over, if you fold it too much or too little, more than 1/8 of an inch, redo it. Unfold it and refold and iron again. If it's more than 1/8 of an inch, whenever you're sewing that binding on, you may have problems catching the actual binding, and it may come loose, which defeats the whole purpose, because you want to have that sewn on there that lasts a really, really long time. Hey, I talk a lot. I'm almost done with this. And that's it. You just want to go down and iron the whole thing until we reach the very end. And that's it. Now at the end, same exact thing. Just fold it in half. And we've got it. And we have our binding. Binding! Yeah, we made binding. Hopefully you learned something today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, as well as follow my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as Twitch, where you can interact with me as I'm sewing live.